Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3. Mic test 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Santi. Thank you so much for coming, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you have a cup of tea, cup of coffee, so that we can be able to start. We will be starting shortly. Asante sana. Testing 1, 2. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, once again. We are kindly requesting if we can be able to come and occupy the seats that are here in front of us. We'd like just to sit together, so I'd like to call upon the far end, if they can be able just to come and occupy the seats that are here, so that we can be able just to sit together and have this fantastic event seated together. All right, thank you. To the ones that are seated on the far end of the back and on the sides, please just come and occupy the seats here, and we'll appreciate that. Asante sana.
digital transformation, and particularly across these three aspects. From an application perspective, I believe now, lots of organizations, SACCOs, are looking at applications and how to reach their customers in a more convenient manner. Those applications are sitting in-house, some are sitting on the cloud. And as a result of these, there's lots of data, and most organizations and most SACCOs are using these data to inform their decision-making, or are starting to do that, to use all these data in a meaningful manner. And lastly, there's lots of infrastructure. So, whether you're deploying your applications on premise or on cloud, most organizations are doing this, especially because cloud is easy to use and quick turnaround time.
Technology for the sake of technology is useless. We have to find a proper use case for it. What works in the West may not work here. We also have to look at the uniqueness of the environment, the uniqueness of the country and how things work, mindset of the people, the business model. And so what we strive to do is we take.
Fantastic. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Fantastic. Just high five the person seated next to you and tell them, welcome to the Africa Saccotech Forum. Give them a nice high five to welcome them. If you can be able to, on the left and on the right, just welcome them. Let them feel at home. We are glad to have each and every one of you here. All right, we still have some seats that are here. You are our distinguished delegates, and we'd like to invite, for the ones who are seated on the far end, you can be able to come and occupy the seats that are in front of you here, and then we can be able to proceed. Fantastic. Glad to have you here once again. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I remember a notion that used to be there a while ago, that the car in front of you is a Toyota. By a show of hands, how many can remember that? The car in front of you is a Toyota, but definitely that has changed. People have upgraded. There's German technology happening around, and I have seen you streaming in with those lovely vehicles. But another notion that used to be there is that the person seated next to you has a SACCO loan. Just turn to the person seated next to you and ask them, do you have a SACCO loan? Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to appreciate and welcome to our vendors, to our delegates in the SACCO industry who are keen on digital transformation, artificial intelligence, and just transforming technology when it comes to this particular industry. We are glad to have you here, and we would like to officially welcome you to the Africa Saccotech Forum. Thank you very much, and would like to just get started. In the interest of time, I'd like to invite for the opening remarks is a man that we know very well. He is a serial entrepreneur with a passion for technology. He's an IT consultant and e-government strategist at heart. He's worked with the East African governments in crafting e-government implementation strategies and works including setting up the East African e-government working group and the development of the Africa e-government framework, and was ratified by the East African Council of Ministries. This is just a small thing that he has done, but it's someone that we appreciate, and we know him as the Grand Mullah when it comes to digital transformation, and he is the Don Pablo when it comes to digital transformation. He is currently the chairman and content director at DX5. Ladies and gentlemen, help me appreciate with a warm round of applause Hari as he comes to the stage to open the session for us. Thank you and welcome.
Holy Moses. Oh my God. This guy, I don't know where he gets his words. Ian. Okay, good morning, guys. Good morning. Good to see you all. I want to repeat what Ian said. That was so funny. The person sitting next to you has a SACCO loan. That's super funny. Yeah, but thank you guys for coming. We are really, really excited to have you here. The SACCO industry is so central to us and to our vision, and that's why we do this. We had an earlier engagement, and I was saying that, the 5 years that we've been doing Saccotech, we've seen progress. We've seen a lot of change. We've seen technology companies waking up to the SACCO opportunity. Something that, I remember a lot of the SACCO guys, you guys had to configure a vision, to be your system of choice, because there was nobody who was offering you the solutions that you're looking for. But that has changed. It's changed over the years, and companies have come out and they've built solutions fit for SACCO, which is really commendable. And also we've seen SACCOs now taking digital transformation seriously and investing in technology for their members. Because at the end of the day, it's about the community. You're serving a community, you're empowering the community. So that is why we are so proud to be associated with the SACCO movement in the country and also in Africa. So we have people online. Hi, guys. Good to have you online. Unfortunately, you won't have the tea that we'll have. You won't have the lunch, but be with us. So thank you so much. Anyway, today is not my day. I'm here to introduce you to somebody that you will get to know better as we move on. Some of you may know, some of you may not know, that we, CIO Africa, has merged with a South African company called the Rebel Element. And I was telling the other guys that these guys are super rebellious. Super rebellious. But we are also rebellious, so we found ourselves a good fit. So we merged with Rebel Element, and we created a new entity called DX5. So I wanted to introduce you to the CEO of DX5, Kelly Bentley.
Turn that on. Hi, Karibu. Firstly, thank you so much for having me here. It's a real privilege. I was saying to the team earlier that it's just it's almost surreal to be back here speaking at this event, but also to be launching an entirely new business in the next 3 or 4 weeks. A business that's not new to any of you. I think CIO Africa has become a household name to a lot of technologists. And when I made the decision to come up here and talk to Harry and Andrew about how we would combine our forces to take on Africa as a whole, I knew in my heart it was a heart decision first, before it was a head decision. And I made a couple of calls into the market to a couple of friends who are in this market, and I asked them about the CIO name. And without fail, every single one of them said that they were a trusted brand. It was driven by 2 leaders who were known in the market, who were relied upon to drive connection and networking from a digital perspective. And so for me, it became a no-brainer, and it was all driven by heart. And DX5 was created about 3 weeks ago when we started to talk about our vision for the African continent. Harry and I personally have a very clear and passionate vision around taking Africa and putting them on a global stage. I think what we are doing from a digital perspective is second to none in a lot of cases. I think we don't get enough press and airtime globally. I think the larger organizations and the larger economies get a lot more because they've got a lot more clout, right? And sometimes we're seen as third world. I come from Zimbabwe. I come from a third world country. I am Zimbabwean, born and bred. But actually, I think we've got so much more potential than we are shouting about. And I think we need to start shouting louder. So our mission for DX5, DX, as some of you may or may not know, stands for digital transformation. It's the acronym commonly used in the industry. 5 indicates community. When we go into a business, we want to work with all the stakeholders that are involved and who we believe should be responsible. Digital transformation no longer sits with the CIO. It sits with the organization as a whole. It sits with its shareholders, its leadership, its staff, customers, partners, suppliers, and the community that it exists in. Digital transformation is the responsibility of everybody involved in the existence of that business. And so for us, it was given that we needed to underline that fact. CIO Africa has historically spent a lot of time talking to the CIO. And it's been quite a lonely job for the CIO to try and articulate the importance of transformation. In fact, at the CEO breakfast earlier, we just had a couple of comments around why there weren't more SACCOs present. It's a good point. We're struggling in the industry, and we believe because that responsibility is being left with the CIO. And it shouldn't be. It goes beyond there. So what we are going to be doing is building a business that supports the CIO to take the digital transformation message to be taking it to Africa, be taking it to Europe, the States, and then to the rest of the world. A global approach is really important for us. We've identified the incredible talent in this market, and we think that we should be shouting louder. So, to create a platform that involves all of you, that drives value for all of you, that identifies the pain points that you're all experiencing in your organizations, and ultimately that connects you to the people that can solve them and to the people that you can also help digitally transform. It's because we need more efficiency or effectiveness to drive big, or it's about reach, or it's because of human error, which is causing our businesses to make a loss. It's costing our businesses. We all love an Excel spreadsheet. But my goodness, the human error that can go into an Excel spreadsheet can be hugely costly. But the third thing I've identified around digital transformation is also around the reluctance to change. And something that I would like to give all of you the challenge is to go back into your business places, go back into your industry, and be an agent of change. We all need to evangelize digital transformation. We all have a responsibility, not only for our businesses, but for the generations that are coming behind us, for our children. They only speak digital. But there are still a lot of people leading big businesses and small that aren't bought into the digital transformation story. So my challenge to you today is to go back with that message, understand how you can become an evangelist. It's not the same for all of us. There's no one shoe that fits everybody. Everybody's got a different shoe. But if you can touch on being digital and why that's important to your ecosystem, both personally and professionally, then I think that we can all become a force to be reckoned with. And we can put Africa on the global stage. DX5 has taken on that challenge, and we will work with you to give access and drive inclusivity, just like a SACCO does. What you guys are doing for the unbanked, for the people that can't get loans anywhere else is remarkable. And coming from a country where our financial system is all but broken, I have to say that it is very humbling to see the impact that you guys are having on the lives of Kenyans and Africans beyond. Because believe me, you take for granted that there are 22,000 SACCOs, as I learned earlier. Access and the impact that you are creating is profound. I'm excited to have all here with us, sharing your experience and knowledge. Please network and connect with everybody. Please connect with me. I'd love to meet as many of you as I can. Can't promise I'll remember all your names, but I'll do my best. And let's drive some value into this market. And next year, let's double the number of people that sit in front of me. Thank you so much for coming today. I'm really looking forward to engaging with you.
Help me appreciate Kelly one more time. A round of applause. Thank you so much, Kelly Bentley, and congratulations to the wider team. We're looking forward to that collaboration and the impact that the delegates that are seated here will be able to bring to this particular nation and also the region of Brazil. Fantastic. So, capital letters. We'd like also to appreciate our partners. We have Safaricom, Liquid Intelligence, Quora, Intrasoft. We also have Computer Learning Center, TechMarks, Little Cab, and Craft Silicon. Ladies and gentlemen, help me appreciate them with a round of applause. Thank you so much. I know definitely we'll have some time to be able to visit their booths out there and get to have a better understanding of the value proposition that they're offering, and then we can be able to proceed from there. To Kelly and the team, welcome once again. I am actually I love Kelly's name, Kelly Bentley. You know, it's a fantastic name. Totally love it. I feel even with this particular partnership, I will be inspired personally to be able to adopt that. And when God blesses me with my little young ones, the first one I can call him maybe Sally Demio, you know. But my daughter will definitely be Sally Posh Cayenne, all right? Fantastic. Okay, so we want to go into a discussion where we're going to discuss the future SACCO is digital. And I'd like to appreciate there's so many delegates and representations that we're seeing here. Karibuni sana. So our next speaker, this is a gentleman who is results-oriented when it comes to sales and marketing, with over 11 years experience in handling business development, strategy, account management, and also local and export sales. He also is a relationship manager par excellence, and he's also diversified his experience in distribution setup and systems. He has the ability to execute projects with precision, formulate budgets, and implement the same. He is currently the head of enterprise channels and SME at Safaricom PLC. I appreciate him for coming early. He was here by 7 a.m. handling his business, doing the calls, and enjoying his coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, help me appreciate with a warm round of applause John Mushiri Mureithi as he comes to tell us the future SACCO is digital. Makofi tafadhali. Thank you so much, John. Welcome. We're glad to have you here.
So good morning. The only thing that Ian forgot on Kelly's name was the surname. Did you notice that? How he said, I love the name Kelly, but the surname was the main one that he wanted to really emphasize, the Bentley. So, I really love that too. So my names are John Mushiri. Ian has really bragged about my CV, but that's not true. I'm a very simple guy. You asked Edward, we were having breakfast together. So that's who I am. And today I'll walk you through some of my thoughts. I was given some notes to read through, so I scribbled on my notebook as I was having breakfast with Edward today. So I will walk you through what are some of the things and some of the things that we are seeing from a trends perspective. You know, in our industry, and I want to believe all of us are in technology, maybe in one way or another, if you don't know it, you are. Joe, hi, good morning. Good to see you. We work together. I had not seen him since more than 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So some of the things that we do as Safaricom, and what we are seeing from a trends perspective. Now, usually whenever you as an organization are looking at your business, you do 3 things. You will, hindsight is how your business is performing. Insight is around what you're seeing from a trends perspective. And then foresight is what you're going to do, isn't it? That's usually how we operate our businesses. So it's the same trend that we as Safaricom do. And it's from that lens that for sure that is a constant is change. Do we all agree? Yeah? It's change, right? So some of the things that we see from a macro level are things that affect us from a change perspective. And they affect all of us in this room. Whether we like it or not, you can fail to ignore the change that's coming. And you know, as we were told earlier on in the breakfast, you know what could happen, all right? And then you can take advantage of what we see in the change. Now, certain things, if I look back from what has happened in the world across, we all in the room, if I look across in terms of most of us, either you have read or you know about what happened to Kodak, isn't it? Okay, we all know. We all know what happened to BlackBerry. Okay, if you never used a BlackBerry, you know what happened to BlackBerry. But some of the things that happened were because they ignored certain things. So they ignored certain insights. They had the hindsight, but insights. And then based on the insights that were coming forward, they did not make the foresight or the decisions that they were going to do. Now, if I bring it closer home, and Ian earlier on said hashtag CIO da. Did he say about newspapers? Huh? So what's happening to newspapers in our day? Thank you. What's newspaper? He's asked. So the same thing that we saw from a macro or world BlackBerry and so on is happening here in our very own country. And with all due respect to my colleagues in the media industry, I mean, it's already happening. The circulation numbers of newspapers are going down as more people go to digital. Today, if I look at the newspaper, the last time I caught a newspaper, I can't remember, because most of the information when I get up, when I was here, when we were having breakfast with Edward and so on, I was looking at Twitter because that's my first source of information of what's happening. And I'm sure most of us are doing that today. So that's the trend of what's happening in the world. Within an organization, we cannot fail to ignore that. Agreement, right? So I'll walk you through in terms of some, and I'll mention some statistics to you so that you keep them at the back of your mind. And then I'll walk you through some things that we are also seeing. You know, COVID for those of you who are historians, there's a guy who is called Winston Churchill. He was in the Second World War. He led the British defense against the Germans. And one of the things he said is never fail to take advantage of a crisis. That's what he said. Every crisis has a silver lining. So what has happened with COVID? It was a crisis, right? But what has happened? From a consumer perspective, your customer's perspective, what has happened? A lot of them have shifted in terms of digital. Today in the economy, you know, yesterday we were chatting with someone, Kepsa chair lady, and one of the things she mentioned, Flora, is that today in Kenya, almost everything from her handbag to the pen, notebook, shoes, everything to the hair for the ladies. You can almost get it online and have it delivered to you by a duty guy. It's true. It's true. Just think about it. But that has been exaggerated or fast-forwarded by COVID, isn't it? Because had COVID not happened, a lot of things, consumer habits, would not have changed as dramatically as they have changed. So all of us in this room would be convincing our customers the need for them to digitize or to go digital. Now, that has been assisted by COVID. And that's why I tell you, sometimes a crisis comes with a silver lining. So the question to you, as a SACCO organization or a SACCO CIO or a SACCO board member, is how am I taking advantage as a SACCO, and how are we digitizing in line with what our customer expectations are? So I'll tell you something. Some time ago, yesterday I had, you all know about Elon Musk, isn't it? Yeah? He's the richest guy on earth, right? Ian maybe will name one of his kids after him. But he's the richest guy on earth, right? Now, if you look at how radical he thinks, he's the type of person who doesn't want to, what are they called? Screws in square, in round holes. He's the type of person who looks at the opposite of every direction that we think. Last week I read an article on him about how he is now putting chips in chimpanzees. And you know what the chips do? The chips dictate the behavior of that chimpanzee. So when he wants to tell the chimpanzee, sit down, he commands English, sit down, the chimpanzee follows. When he wants to tell the chimpanzee, get angry, the chimpanzee gets angry. So it's completely taking over emotions. Can I bet with you something? If that is successful, where do you think it will go next? And remember, the chimpanzee is the closest to your human body. It's the closest animal. So where will that go next? There'll be an option for you to put it in your mind. And when you put it in your mind, then what happens next? No, I don't need to come to school and spend 5 years doing my MBA. I'll walk into a room, spend 20 minutes, download all the information I need, and I move on. So that's, from a macro level, that's what is happening. So we can't fail as organizations or SACCOs or people who are in the digital environment or technology environment not to take advantage of what's happening in the world. In the US, last year I came across this bank in the US. It's called Alibank. You can Google it for those who are in the industry. But Alibank is an amazing bank. You know why? They don't have one branch. One. Any member here of SACCO who doesn't have a branch, even a head office? Put up your hand. They don't have one branch. Guess what number they are in the US as a bank? Number 17. They're the 17th best bank in the US by customer service. That is what we call our net promoter score, or how customers rate you. Okay? They are number 17. In terms of asset base, I think I had that number somewhere. Yeah, $172 billion as of last year. $172 billion. How many employees do they have? And they're 6,500 employees. Do you see what I'm talking about? The world is shifting. And it's high time all of us in the room shifted along. That bank is paperless, end to end. You apply for an account. They are one of the largest mortgage companies in the US. They have 6.5 million customers. 6.5 million customers. and no branch. No branch. But that's the statistics of what's happening in our world. So, and to help you, show you why you need to shift, and I'll give you some statistics. Keep this at the back of your mind. In Kenya, and I saw this from GSMA. GSMA are the guys who track mobile phones and so on, how many devices somebody has. So I'll ask you to write some statistics down because they are relevant to you. Internet usage, and I'll compare 4 countries. Internet usage in Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, and Egypt. Internet usage in Kenya, it's 84%. As in 84% of our population have access to the internet. 84% of our population. And remember, Kenya has 48.9, or people say 50 million, so you can put it there. But out of that, remember, 50% of that population, I think, is below 15 years. So you can see at least a certain portion of that population is access to internet. In South Africa, 94%, which is good for them. Nigeria is at 56%. Egypt is at 49%. Now, Kenya is almost close to South Africa. We are at 84%. That means we are doing a fantastic job as far as access to the internet is concerned. Now, smartphone penetration. Out of our base of customers, how many have a smartphone? Okay, like all these, most of you guys here. So in Kenya, 60%. In South Africa, 64%. Nigeria, 27%. And in Egypt, 34%. Okay? Now, I'm giving you that statistics again to show you something. In Kenya, again, we are close to who? South Africa. We are at 60%, South Africa is at 64%. That tells you guys the ingredients of almost like an industrial revolution moving is already there. And I'll tell you something. You know, for me, I'm in my 40s, almost late 40s actually. I'm in my late 40s. When I look back at home entertainment, and this is a statistics I'm giving you also. When I look back at home entertainment, when I was born and my dad and my mom were bringing me up, they used to have a thing called a VHS, you know, video cassette, that you would put in to watch a movie and so on. And it was, I think, Sony or one of those companies, all right? Now, those VHSs were produced by Sony and all those Taiwanese companies around 1964. Okay? It took them for Sony and all those to become a household name, as in my mother to have had that thing, and I'm sure most of us in this room, judging by our ages or an uncle or relative had it. It took them 25 years for that to become a household name. Remember that number, 25 years from date of production for it to become a household. That means in almost every home across the world, there will be a VHS as long as someone can afford to buy a video. Then come 1994, and what happens? Things like DVDs walk into the room. It took DVDs, and that's when they also Sony migrated from VHF to DVD, for those of you who can remember. It took them 12 years, again, to become a what? A household name. Have you seen? There's 25 years. The next revolution takes them 12 years. And then, some time ago, across the world, home internet was launched. It takes the home internet, or internet, it takes them 7 years to get to 70% of the world's home users. 7 years. Can you see the time it's taking? Okay? Now, in the same space, it's completely baffling, by the way. Technology is amazing. That's why I love it. Because I think in terms of quantifying time, you will see a shift from certain timelines. So there's 25, there's 12, and there's 7 years. Okay? Now, so you need to ask yourself, as a SACCO, or as someone in the industry, what is the time it's going to take me to change? Because you have to change. We have all agreed change is constant, isn't it? Huh? We have all agreed change is constant. And it's going to be a fact. Now, I've given you some statistics around mobile penetration and smartphone devices. Now, I'll talk about 3 things that are key for you to do this. 3. And if we execute them in this room, we will, as Kelly said, we will transform and be the generation that transformed Africa. I'll talk about 3 things. The first one is around, I'll talk about skill set, tool set, and mindset. And I'll start with a skill set. Skill set is about what is the capacity, what is the ability of your team to execute. What are you doing in terms of training your people? What are you doing in terms of equipping your people with the necessary skill set to be able to take advantage of the digital revolution that's happening? I'm speaking about that based on an environment of experience. Okay? As Safaricom, obviously, we are privileged that we have had the ability to learn a lot of this stuff. But I'm asking, as a SACCO, please have that ability to train your people. And one of the things that I will request, if Safaricom, beyond Joe, could I have just the Safaricom's team standing, please? If you are from Safaricom, just stand, please, across the room. So you can see all of us, okay? Why we are all here is to walk that journey together. The thing, thank you colleagues, thank you. The thing about skill set is not your journey alone. It's not your journey alone, okay? We have ability to come and do it together with you. If you need us in the room to equip your teams, we are ready to walk that journey. Whether it's going to take us 12 months, we have professional services that we are able to do, and we can come in and be able to equip your teams. So don't shy away from asking, where do I go for that? Reach out to any of us who have stood up, and we'll walk that journey with you. The other thing I want to talk about beyond skill set is tool set. And around tool set, I'll spend a few minutes, okay? Because tool set refers to the technology. What are you doing as a SACCO to make sure that you're taking advantage of the digital revolution that's happening now? And some of these things is around the partners that you identify. It is, I mean, someone earlier on in the morning said, why they shy away from technology is that technology is expensive. Okay? But that is relevant, isn't it? We all agree. It's relevant. Because then you need to quantify against what? Okay? So, and remember that technology over time becomes cheaper as there's more adaptability. So you need to ask yourself, how are you leveraging technology? And within that, I mean, you leverage technology for different things. Maybe you want to scale. So you want to scale your business. How are you leveraging technology? Another area, and when you say scale, in terms of how you're leveraging technology, it could be areas to do with cloud, okay? And we at Safaricom, and some of my colleagues who are here, Liquid and so on, we have fantastic cloud solutions that we can be able to engage you with. At Safaricom, we have M-Pesa in terms of scalability that can help you scale. You know, one of the things that we fail to take advantage of as Kenyans is M-Pesa. M-Pesa is our own brand, isn't it? As Kenyans, right? We are proud of it. But we sometimes fail to take advantage of it. So today we have a solution on M-Pesa, which is targeted for the financial institutions, including yourselves as SACCOs, which allows a SACCO to reach more customers, so in terms of scale. It's called the M-Pesa Super App, and it's available for you. I would recommend you take advantage of that. Okay? Safaricom, we have 30 million customers, so in terms of scalability, of you as a product or as a brand, that gives you a lot of mileage. So my request is don't sit there. As long as you have identified, I want to scale, who do I reach out to? Reach out to us, and we'll walk that journey together with you. I've talked about in terms of cloud as well as M-Pesa. Then there's another, in terms of another area that you need to look at, is how are you taking advantage of new opportunities? Remember, around technologies is also around new opportunities. So right now, and you all know, Google is going to open an office in Nairobi, right? So we all know, yeah? Why? You need to ask yourself, why?